talking with Wayne State linebacker coach and special team coordinator Keith McKenzie. And Coach, looking up your background, I think you've been throughout the entire Midwest. You grew up in Highland Park, went to Highland Park High School, went to college at Ball State in Indiana. Then you played in the NFL, and you played in Green Bay, Buffalo, Cleveland, Chicago. You've covered the Midwest.
Yeah, I've been pretty much everywhere where it's an outdoor stadium and it's cold. So I've been blessed to be able to have a career like that. But you know, wherever your career takes you, you just got to follow. And it's been in the Midwest, so I've been happy. My family's been able to watch me play and been able to travel and see me, so it's been great.
Let's talk a little bit more about your background after playing at Ball State. Put together a nice NFL career. You're, I'm pretty sure, the only guy on this staff with a Super Bowl ring. You actually played in two of them, won one with the Packers when you beat New England, which not too many people beat New England in Super Bowls anymore, so that's a good thing to do. And I noticed 4 touchdowns as a defensive player.
Yeah, I had one of those careers. You know, one of them was a couple special teams, but if you play hard and you hustle and you just always try and get to the ball, good things are happening. And I was fortunate to get my hands on a couple of balls and score with them.
Now, how do you take all those things you learned from great leaders like a Reggie White, like a Sean Jones, you're around a Brett Favre, people like that. How do you take that, take what you have within you as well, and all that experience, and translate it over to these young players at the Division II level?
It's just like teaching. And, you know, for me, my experiences, that's why I tell my guys, I'm teaching you things from off my experiences. So if I tell you don't do something this way, you could get hurt or you could get knocked out. That's why, it's probably because it happened to me. So, you know, just teaching those guys from my experiences, and also showing them the techniques and everything that I've learned, and that helps those guys out, I think, and by me being a former player, they really buy into what I've done. And sometimes when we have a little free time, they'll ask to see some old footage of me, and I got some old CDs, so I'll throw them in there and just show them that, hey, the things that I'm showing you, these are the things that I did, and this is the things that I learned from that guy or that guy, and this is why I'm teaching it to you. So, you know, those guys, they respect what I've done, and they really listen to me.
You know, speed is such a valued asset in football, and one of your linebackers last week, I think, showed some Cunningham. On a pass play deep, he looked like a D-back covering it. Is that something you want out of your linebackers?
Yeah, you have to be able to run. The way the game is right now, they spread you out so much, and they're just running all kind of passes, and they play action, and they try to do a lot of things to get people out of the box, the linebackers out of the box. So we got to be able to run, and you got to be able to. And we teach, like, I really teach those guys to read their keys and see what's in front of them, because certain things offensive linemen do up front, it's going to dictate what kind of play they're running. So those guys, when they see those keys and with the speed that they have, they're able to react and play fast. And that particular play with Valorian is just a technique deal, and he's got tremendous talent. And we just, you know, teach him this certain technique, like he just hold the hash, run down the sideline, and the guy has to come to you. And with his speed, he was able to cover the guy and make a really, really good play.
Talk about special teams. You're the coordinator of all of it. Sometimes you have breakdowns. Sometimes it's how you react to those breakdowns. Last week you had a punter punt with his left foot, which really might have saved the game for you. But special teams has always been important here at Wayne State. Talk about what you believe as far as special teams go.
Well, we really preach special teams, and we practice it, and we really take the time out to work on technique and work on a scheme. You know, we really study our guys. That I coach. I'm the lead coach on the kickoff and kickoff return, and Coach Winters is the punt lead coach, and Coach Kasmersky, our D-line coach, is the lead coach for punt return. So all of us, we study, and we really break down our opponents, and we really take time out during fall camp and spring ball to really work on our special teams techniques, certain techniques that for each team, and we really preach just hustle and playing hard and playing fast, and that's what helps us been really successful on special teams.
Tell me, at the Division II level, you don't have the scholarship numbers that you have at D1. How important is it that you have players like Ethan Walsh, who really are other positions, they're tight ends, but if you need them, you can punt? You've got a few guys like that. How important is it to find guys that can do those jobs?
Well, you know, it's very important to find guys, but we don't necessarily look for guys that do a lot of things, but we look for good football players, and guys like a Ethan Walsh or a Robbie Baidoon, those guys did that in high school. And you know, one thing about high school, you usually play a lot of positions, so we take that in account that, hey, he did punt in high school and he knows how to do it, and we give those guys the opportunity, and if they're doing it well, we'll continue to, you know, nurture that, and just in case of an emergency, let's say something unfortunate happened to one of our punters or kickers, you know, one of those guys could step in. So we actually give those guys reps in practice, so it's not like we just throw them out there and, hey, you got to go punt, so they actually have time to practice it.
All right, going back to something you mentioned earlier, the old Reggie McKenzie football camp that I think Jerome Bettis has done stuff like that around here as well. Yeah. How important is it? Is that something that maybe you learned from him, or is it just something that's within you to try to give back to this community and to teach young kids the value of football and how to do it right?
That was something that I learned from, pretty much it was a family deal with our McKenzie family. Started with my grandmother, you know, being a community service deal, being a den mother, giving back to the community, giving that, and from there my uncle learned, and he took that and he wanted to give back to not just Highland Park, back to Detroit. So he started the camp, and he wanted to make sure that kids that wanted to participate in football that couldn't afford it could do it, and that's why we made it free. And that's something that our family preached, and we took that from football to track camps to girls basketball camp, boys basketball camp, even a golf camp, and we took it even a step further to weekend tutorial programs where kids could come in and get, because, you know, being an athlete, you know, academics goes hand in hand with being an athlete. So, you know, we took it to a little further with doing weekend tutorial programs where kids could come in and get extra help. And we took it a little further and did summer tutorial programs, and then we did mentoring programs, ACT programs. So we did a lot of things like that, and that's what I learned from my family. Like, you have to give back. Help the next man up. If you're successful doing something and you really believe in it and you love it, help the next man up or the next person up by showing them.
Last question, you mentioned other sports. Looked up your high school bio, and you played football, yes, obviously. Yeah. Track, it makes sense. I'd bet you were a shot putter or something like that. Yeah. And wrestling, which makes sense. It says you played tennis.
Yeah. You know what, my father, he liked to play tennis, and we used to go play a lot when I was younger, and I didn't want to run track my freshman year, so my freshman year I went out for the tennis team and made the tennis team and participated in tennis. I had fun doing it. It was, you know, because of budget cuts, we had to get rid of men's tennis, but I loved doing it. If they would have kept it, I probably would have did that instead of track. I had a great time.
I'm glad you enjoyed tennis when you did it, but I'm really glad you stuck with football. And thanks for everything you're doing around here at Wayne State.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love it, and this is a great place to be.